Hey everybody, I'm Scott. This is a hot rod, and you are watching Scott Rod's Garage. So what's going on at Scott Rod's right now? Let's take a little walk around the yard and see what we've been up to since we've been absent. First of all, we have this 1951 Willys Jeepster that was brought to us by a customer that recently purchased it from his family. It was originally his grandfather's vehicle, bought it brand new. So a lot of work's been done to it, but a lot of stuff still needs to be done to it. So it's here to get fine-tuned, fix it up to make it safe and reliable. So now, we just put a fuel pump in it, dual action fuel pump, because the wipers didn't work. Probably because the diaphragm in the fuel pump dried out, and that's what creates the vacuum from the engine, runs the wipers. So now we've just installed the motor. We're going to test the wiper, the vacuum wiper motor, and see if that's working. What else do we got going on here? Let's take a walk. Follow me. Bigfoot. We talked about Bigfoot a little bit in the past. We've been working on her. She now has a new clutch in it. We did the brake lines. We did some stuff. We actually had to put a air pollution pump on it because they didn't make air pump delete for this particular model engine. So even though I no longer need the air pollution pump, I had to get it and put it on just so the serpentine belt would run everything else. So now she's running and drivable. We did a little bit of body work on both of the bottoms of the doors. We're going to blow a little bit of paint in there. We're going to add a little patina to it because we are going to scotch brite this whole thing, leave it just the way it is, and we're going to flat clear it to preserve the patina on it, give it a different look, a new spin. Let's take a walk forward and we'll introduce you to our latest endeavor, I guess you could call it. This here is a 1987 Chevy Camaro T-top car, one owner, 12,000 original miles, been garaged its whole life and has not been out of that garage in the last 23 years. We picked it up 2 weeks ago, went through all the necessary steps to get her up and running again. She's now running, runs beautiful, runs like a 12,000 mile car. Interior's immaculate, body's immaculate, paint's immaculate. Dirty right now because tractor trailers run up and down the street and kick all the dust and the pollen up in the air, so needs to be bathed again. We're going to cut and buff it. Brand new raised white leather tires on their way. They were supposed to be here today actually, but didn't show. I was expecting them on Monday. So I'm going to put those on and do a little bit more work, just kind of basically debug it, you know, run it up and down the road, make sure everything's working properly, and clean it up. I'm going to cut and buff it, and then after that, when I'm satisfied that it's perfect, we're going to send it off to hopefully a new loving home. What else are we working on? Something we haven't worked on in a long time, and that is my 51 Buick Rat Rod. Let's go take a quick look at that. So this is my 51 Buick. I call her Old Ironsides because she is heavy metal all day long, baby. So as you can imagine, this car's been sitting for a very, 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 very long time, and it's rusty. It's New England. You know, we have snow and ice and salt and all that good stuff here. An acquaintance of mine had given me a pair of patch panels for a 54 Chevy, which almost exactly duplicate the lower quarters of this car. They're a little bit different, but only Buick guys would know that. So we're actually kind of, I guess you could say, joining an old panel and a new panel. Believe it or not, in the middle of the woods, I found a 53 Buick Special flipped upside down at the edge of a, I guess it's a pond, a lake, a pond, and that was quite a long time ago. And I got down there with a battery-operated saw and sawed off the quarter panels because I knew I was going to need some sheet metal for this. So right now, that's what we're doing. We're going to fix up the lower quarters. We are going to paint this thing black and white. We're going to make a Scott Rod's police cruiser out of it. I'm going to put a period correct bubble gum light on top. I got a couple of the spotlights we're going to put on there. And we're going to do a little decal on the doors. We're going to paint it black and white like a cruiser. And it's going to be Scott Rod's Police Department. So, stay tuned for that. What else do we got going on? Well, this guy, Jeepers Creepers, we introduced you to Jeepers Creepers a little while back. The guy that owns this has recently purchased this. And if you don't know what this is a 1972 Mercury Capri. I have not seen one of these cars in about 35 years. So they were very prone to rust. And the engines that were offered in them, there was just a 4-cylinder and a 2.8 6-cylinder. That was all that was offered in them. And they were both bad engines. That's why you don't see these cars anymore, because they are long gone and hard to find, especially in New England where everything rots away. So this one is actually in fair condition, and it's a sunroof car. But somebody somewhere along the way stuffed a 5.0 in this thing. So this thing is basically a predated Fox Body Mustang, I guess you could call it. It's the closest thing to a Fox Body Mustang before the Fox Body Mustang. So the reason we got this was for the engine for Jeepers Creepers. Let's go take a quick look at that engine. We've pulled the tranny, and we've cleaned up and repainted the motor. The motor is a fairly recent rebuild. When I say fairly recent, it might have been done 10 years ago, but the car hasn't really gone anywhere. It was never completely put together. The motor and tranny was in, the linkage wasn't hooked up properly. There was a bunch of stuff that wasn't done. So let's go take a quick look at that engine. That is going in this thing hopefully next week. I would like to get it in next week, get it off by 4. This is the 5.0 liter motor that come out of that little Mercury Capri. That is going in Jeepers Creepers. As you can see, we kind of cleaned it up and put some fresh paint on it. I replaced all the freeze plugs just to be on the safe side. And we got a couple more little things to do this motor, and then we're ready to mate up the flywheel and the clutch and pressure plate, and then we're ready to put this thing in. So hopefully next week we can get this in, and I would love to hear that car run. We'll show the video of that once it's up and running, probably while we're putting it in as well. What else we got going on? We have our truck from Florida, which you folks know all about. It's kind of covered up right now. And our Mustang project car, which is in desperate need of me getting to work on. So that's what we got right now. That's what's going on. Stay tuned. We're going to send more videos your way, and you will see how everything's coming together. Talk to you soon.